Chicago baseball fans. We had the Chicago White Sox off today. Cubs taking on who the White Sox just lost to, the world champion Houston Astros, and the Cubs made things interesting, but they fall by a score of 6-4 on the road in the middle of their 9-game road trip. 6-4 game lost by the Chicago Cubs to the Houston Astros. We're going to talk about what happened today right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for all Chicago baseball. Let's start the show.
Fans, it's your boy Big Bro right here on Chicago White Sox and Chicago Cubs Central. And even though Christopher Morel hit a blast, a 3-run home run shot to tie the game late, the Chicago Cubs were not able to basically build on that and lead to a win. They tied the game at 4 and they stopped there. So what's good, everybody? What's happening, East Instruments? I see you, my guy. How you feeling, my dude? It's good to see you, man. Cubs take another loss. They've been struggling lately. They fall to 19-22. The Houston Astros move up to 22-19. Montero with the win. Fulmer with the loss as the Cubs put up 4 runs in the 4th inning to tie things up after Houston jumps all over Tyone and gets 4 runs in the 1st inning. The Cubs didn't do anything after that. Houston scored 2 runs in the 7th, and that was pretty much the game. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Chicago Cubs, and 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Houston Astros. So the Astros have to be feeling good about taking on Chicago teams. Chicago Cubs on a 3-game losing streak, which now puts them 4 games back of first place in the Central Division as the Houston Astros move up to second in their division as Texas is on a 1-game losing streak. So yeah, man, that's what we have it, man. We had Jose Abreu score some runs in the 1st inning, as well as Pena and McCormick knocking some runs in, and then we had Gomes hitting a sacrifice fly and Bellinger scoring, and then Morel hitting that 3-run shot, and then Brigham hit the homer in the 7th inning, and that was pretty much the game winner. He hit the home run to left field. So yeah, I'm sorry, it's just crazy. The Cubs have been coming down to earth. In the close games that they were winning earlier in the season, they haven't been winning. And we got Pac-Man in the building. What's good, my dude?
What's going on? I had to take the jersey off. Plain white tee now, man. Oh man, disappointing in this game.
Yeah, man. What's happening, Ease Instruments, man? It's crazy to see this game tonight. Antonio, as Tyone struggled early, but steadied the ship and got deeper into the game that I thought he would after the 1st inning. But the bullpen just didn't come through for the Cubs tonight, man. And they didn't have any timely hits besides the Christopher Morel bomb, another 400-plus foot home run to tie the game. But after that, the Cubs bats went quiet again.
Yeah, it's all David Ross. He keep giving these guys chances, like Michael Fulmer and Brad Boxberger.
Boxberger got a Jesus. Like, why, bro? Why? It's like the White Sox with Bummer. Like, stop putting Bummer out there. My dude, stop it.
And it's not. You're not building up the confidence and putting them in low-level situations and stuff like that. You keep putting them out there with games tied, trying to appease their egos, putting them in 7, 8 and positions because that's what they used to. But they not effective. This Michael Foreman gave up probably like 7 runs his last 4 appearances.
So what's the alternative then, Brody? Like, if they are gonna not go with Fomer, then who would they go with in those situations?
Well, right now they in a rock and a hard place. So you know why they brought in Farmer. You know why they brought in Broxberger. They had this young bullpen. The key guys that they had that started like at the end of 2021, started 2022, all out on injuries. So you can't build upon their appearance like the Ethan Roberts and the Cody Howard. You can't build on their appearance, but they injured. They coming back pretty soon. But you need veteran presence in that bullpen, and You didn't have it. You needed to sign some guys. And on paper, when they signed them, I thought, like, especially Farmer, who had one of the top 95% percentiles at sliders coming in from last year, I thought he was going to be really good. I was hoping he can come in and be the closer, but man, I don't know. I didn't really like the Boxberger situation. Older guy, never been like a real effective player. He's just been one of them solid players. Uh, I just never seen him to be like the default, you know, closer, the default setup guy, anything like till we get this bullpen situation sorted out. Everything's just in shambles right now.
Well, on a positive note, Christopher Morel is with 4 home runs in 6 games. He's in elite company. We talking about like Billy Williams and them. Everybody, with the exception of like Alfonso Soriano, it has been from the early 1900s to the mid 1900s in terms of being a Chicago Cub and coming in and starting off the way that Christopher Morel has. What do you think about this guy, man? Has he earned the right to be an everyday player on this roster?
Well, I've been following Christopher Morel for quite some time since the Cubs signed him and his brother way back yonder, probably about 7 years ago. And they used to call him Lil Javi. So, coming in the minor
Javi
leagues,
Baez.
yeah, he had a lot of energy. He had a power profile, skinny kid, but had power. He filled out now. But looking at this game today, he's doing too much. He had the bomb, tied the game. I love it, but he came right back and struck out 2 more bats. So he didn't put the ball in play no more outside of the home run. So it just looked like he was hunting, batting. I like what David Ross said before the game. He said you got to swing with bad intentions, punish the ball, and that's what he was doing all day, trying to punch the ball. He caught a mistake, but he couldn't catch one no more. They stopped pitching to him in the zone. They stopped pitching to him in the top of the zone. And I hate to say it, if they figure him out, he may not last in the major leagues again. We'll be going back to the conversation saying, yeah, we thought he needed a little bit more seasoning because he's have been punishing the ball, but he has been striking out a lot here. He
You
only
got to
had like
start.
two walks on the season. He's up to 4 today. I think about like 14 strikeouts so far.
So
So
you
it
got to
just
have plate discipline. And right now, Christopher Morel, while he's hitting 450, 460, 420, you got to start having plate discipline and allowing those pitchers to pitch you in the zone, forcing them to pitch you in the
force them in
zone.
his own. Exactly.
Because
Matter of fact,
go
they
ahead.
not they not they not really expanding the zone for him, and he's not chasing outside the zone. They are exploiting his weakness where they get. I was talking to somebody earlier today. The way he retooled his swing, it is to attack the top quadrant of the zone to punish anything up there. And it's not to say that he would not be able to hit any of in the low quadrants, but they attacking where he can't hit. They pounding him in with breaking balls, so he can punish fastballs if they make those mistakes. If they get in out over the plate, down the middle, or anything like that. But it's just all right. Cutters in, sliders on the end, putting things at the shins, change ups. You know, those are the things that he got to be able to recognize coming out of the hand of the pitcher. And it's not even about plate discipline because he's not expanding the zone too much and chasing everything. It's about being selective and murdering your pitches.
So are you hearing anything about Cody Bellinger? Seems like he got a little injury today.
Man, when I saw it, I was like, man, it's over with. That may be possibly a toy MCL. He may be out for like 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, because it did not look good. We probably won't hear anything until like the post-game press conference tomorrow morning. David Ross is going to say the same thing. He's probably just a little banged up. We're going to get an MRI in the morning and go from there. So they're going to be a big blow for Cody himself and also the Cubs. Even though they do have outfield prospects they can run out there, but whatever they was trying to do in the offseason, Jed was trying to compete for a wild card or at least to ambush teams. because he was competing this year. No matter how you slice that pie, he was competing this year. But that roster was not constructed to compete this year.
Right.
So
They definitely overachieved to start the season, and they're
yeah,
playing better than the White Sox still. The White Sox get ready to finish their 9-game, or will complete the second leg of the 9-game homestand tomorrow. They had an off day today, but the Cubs are in the middle of a 9-game road streak, and they're playing against really good teams. Minnesota got to them 2 out of 3. They just lost a series opener to Houston, and they still got to go to Philly. So the goal is to figure out if the Cubs can get out of this situation, these 9 games, with 4 or 5 wins. Man, you think they were able to pull this off?
I don't know. It was kind of hard. I was looking at one of the reasons why the Cubs scuffled is because they didn't have an off day for almost 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into, I think it was the Cardinal series, they actually had a day off before that. So they played almost
That
30
was their
games
first.
with
Well,
no off day. Yeah.
no, I think the Cardinal series was their first off day in 2.5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had an off day prior to that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks prior, but they haven't had many off days, and it
Yeah,
has been baseball is mental, and man, when you tired, bro, you
he
just
tired, he
it's
tired. So yeah, I got to go back and look, but I know it was a very long stretch where they was playing baseball, like till from the end of April when I was like, man, this what's going on up until this last series. They just did not have any. They don't look exhausted. It's just the more games you play, the more routines you do, the more people can get data and analysis on you.
yes,
And Ross wasn't switching the lineups. He wasn't making anything fresh. He wasn't giving guys day off like they should be. Kept Corey Bellinger was Cody Bellinger was playing every day. Horner was playing every day. Ian Happ had one off day, randomly, and then you just gave Suzuki a couple of days off. But going in this stretch right now, this the hardest part of this. This is the character builder of their offense, and it's going to be really tough because they're going to be running with a 4-man rotation to the end of the month, which they're going to go bring up Hendricks then, and they have no bullpen. So you got to depend your most dependable guys, Michael Rucker, who's a low leverage guy, Alizé, you don't pitch a lot, and Letter. Letter should be your closer right now because he's the most effective right now. But I don't know. I feel like I was looking at a stat that the Cubs was like 6-17 since the botch perfect game. So like I just don't know, man.
yeah. I mean, so we're gonna wrap it up. Y'all already know how we do over here on Chicago White Sox, Chicago Cubs Central. Baseball season as long as all get out, so we're not gonna hold y'all too long, man. We appreciate you, Ease Instruments. We always gonna rock with you, my dude. The Cubs fall to the world champion Houston Astros 6-4. Tyone stunk it up in the first inning, but turned it around. But unfortunately, the Cubs did not have enough to get the win tonight, and hopefully they can get a win tomorrow to inch back closer to 500. Because at the end of the day, man, the Cubs are 3 games below 500 at this point in the season. Nobody expected them to be as good as they have been to start the year. And all they got to do is shore up a few things. David Ross got to make a few changes, right, Pac-Man? And they can be all right. The bullpen got some work to do, Brody. The starting pitching has been great. And for the love of God, please give Marcus Stroman some run support, Cubs. Please, at least one time this season.
Oh, I got an interesting take too. Ross said that Tyone was going to come in with an 80 to 85 limit pitch count.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 68 and was pulled.
Yeah.
And that's when he was cruising. I don't understand it.
And you could have used him for that extra inning or two because that's the
Yeah.
difference in the game right there.
That's the difference in the game. You pitch him that extra inning. He had another 15 pitches going, so I don't understand what was going through Ross' head at that point. He got to 4 and 2/3 inning, and you decided to pull him, and he was only at 68 pitches.
At least get him through 5, bro.
Yeah.
Come on now. That's the rule of thumb right there. David Ross, what you doing, bro? You went on Dancing with the Stars and then spun your way out of figuring out how to properly manage this club because they're clearly more talented than anybody thought they could be. So come on, my guy. Come on. And we praying for Cody Bellinger, man. We know how baseball goes. It's injuries, and you got to overcome them. The White Sox been dealing with them all year, and here it's the turn for the Cubs to take care of business without some of their best players. So we're gonna see if they can get it done tomorrow versus Minnesota. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Ease Instruments. We appreciate you for commenting. We always gonna rock with you, my dude. And we're gonna get up out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Welcome to the #1 place for all